All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're pulling back the curtain on a concept that secretly runs just about everything, the function. Seriously, from the keyboard you're using to your morning coffee order, this one single idea is the engine making it all work. So, let's dive in.
So, what's the hidden connection here? A list of names and their ages, a computer keyboard, the price of a cup of coffee? They all seem totally random, right? Well, they're not. They're all connected by this kind of invisible thread, a specific rule that links one thing, an input, to a very specific other thing, an output. Understanding that rule is the key to everything.
And that powerful idea is called a function. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Math class flashbacks, right? But stick with me here, because by the end of this, you're going to see it's actually one of the most practical and, honestly, elegant concepts out there.
Okay, let's start with the absolute basics. And I mean, let's completely forget about equations for a minute. At its very heart, a function is just a matching game. It's all about pairing up items from one list with items from another.
So, here's our first list. We're going to call these our inputs. It's just a simple set of four names: Ali, Ahmad, Usama, and Noor.
And here is our second list, a set of four ages. These will be our potential outputs. So, the big question is, how do we connect them? We just create a rule that pairs them up. In this case, let's call our rule R. So R says that Ali is 25, Ahmad is 20, Usama is 30, and Noor is 22. Now, notice two really important things here. Every single name has an age, and, this is the crucial part, no name has more than one age. That last bit is everything.
And that brings us right to the official definition. A function is simply a rule that assigns each input to, and here's the magic phrase, exactly one output. You can't have one input going to two different outputs. It's a non-negotiable rule.
So now that we've got the basic definition down, let's level up a bit. We're going to look at some special kinds of functions that have some extra, really powerful properties. And first up is what we call the one-to-one rule.
A function is one-to-one, or injective, if you want to get fancy, if every output is unique. This means no two different inputs will ever lead to the same exact output. Think of it like this. Every input gets its own exclusive, dedicated parking spot. No sharing.
Okay, so let's put this idea to the test with a classic example. Imagine our function is f of x equals x squared, and our inputs can be any whole number, positive or negative. So is this function one-to-one? Just think about it for a second.
All right, you ready? Let's try plugging in a number. If we put in 2, the output is 2 squared, which is 4. Simple enough. But what happens if we put in -2? Well, -2 squared is also 4.
And there's our answer. Since we have two different inputs, 2 and -2, both pointing to the same single output, 4, this function fails the test. It is not one-to-one. Okay, so that's our first special property. Now let's look at the second one, the onto rule. This one isn't about outputs being unique, it's about making sure all of the possible outputs actually get used.
A function is onto, or surjective, if it uses up every single possible output in its target set. There are no leftover, unused values. Everything that could possibly be an output is an output for some input. You can think of it as a really efficient function, no wasted potential.
Okay, so we've got functions where outputs are unique, that's one-to-one, and we have functions where all possible outputs are used, that's onto. So what happens when a function is both of these things? Well, then you get the gold standard.
This is what we call a bijective function. It is the perfect pairing. It's one-to-one, so every input goes to its own unique output. And it's onto, so every single possible output gets used. It's a perfect, clean, one-for-one matchup.
Time for another quick check. We have four inputs, A, B, C, and D. And we have four potential outputs, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The function maps A to 4, B to 2, C to 1, and D to 3. What do you think? Is this a perfect match? Is it a bijection?
Yep, it absolutely is. Let's check the rules. Is it one-to-one? Yes, because no two letters map to the same number. Is it onto? Yes, because all the numbers from 1 to 4 are being used. It satisfies both conditions perfectly.
So, why do we care so much about these bijective functions? What's the big deal? Because being bijective unlocks a kind of mathematical superpower. the ability to be perfectly reversed. And this gives us the inverse function.
An inverse function, which you'll see written with a little superscript -1, literally just undoes what the original function did. If a function adds 3, its inverse subtracts 3. If a function multiplies by 2 and then adds 1, the inverse does the exact opposite in reverse. It first subtracts 1 and then divides by 2. It's basically the rewind button for a mathematical process.
Okay, one final concept. What happens if we start linking functions together? What if the output of one function becomes the input for another one? This is called composition, and it's like setting up a chain reaction. The process works just like a line of dominoes. You start with your initial input, x. You apply the first function, let's call it g. The result, g of x, becomes the starting point for the next function, f. You apply f to that result, and the final output is f of g of x.
Let's make that a little more concrete. Let's say one function, g of x, just adds 2 to whatever you give it, and a second function, f of x, squares its input and then adds 1. To find f of g of x, we first apply g, which gives us x plus 2. Then we take that entire thing and plug it into f. So instead of x squared, we get x plus 2 squared, and then we add the 1 at the end.
And really, that's the power of the function. It's so much more than a math equation. It's a way of seeing the world as a set of predictable rules. It's the hidden logic that lets us map inputs to unique outputs, reverse processes perfectly, and build these amazing, complex chains of events. So, I'll leave you with a final thought. What process in your own life could you now describe as a function?